Okay, and welcome back everybody. We have a better than usual product to feature here today. This is the MOWRATOR. This is the four-wheel drive, radio controlled, remote controlled lawnmower, and it is a strong one. It's 56 volts, and if you look here in the battery compartment, you will see that it is 18 amp hour battery. And that basically means that it's going to run from anywhere between an hour and a half to about 2.5 hours, which is exactly what you need. That means you could do like up to an acre. It is a 21-inch mower, although it's wider than that. As you can see here, and later on in the video, you'll see me making a big mistake mowing right to the edge of the chassis, but that is not the edge of the deck. The deck is right in there. So you'll see me leaving a strip because I didn't learn that lesson early enough. I have actually already filmed the whole video, and so I am doing the introduction at the end, which is smart because I have an idea of what everything does. So it is a 3-in-1 mower. It bags. This is the bagger. We don't use baggers very often, but I do demonstrate it. And then it can also mulch. Now this, you'll see later in the video that I did not receive a mulch plug, and that's because this is a prototype. This was sent out before the mulch plugs existed, and so I am using a piece of the packing material that came with it, and it fits in there perfect. So that handles that. So you put the plug in there and close that, and you're mulching. Otherwise, it is a rear discharge. You just bungee this open, take the plug out, and let it discharge straight out the back. And you'll see that demonstrated quite well later in the video. So it is a zero turn. There are two different models. There's a 2-wheel drive and then there's a 4-wheel drive. This is the 4-wheel drive. We've got the remote right here. And that basically means that to turn, the 2 wheels on the right are moving backwards and the 2 on the left are moving forward, and vice versa. Operates just like a bobcat, and then forward and left, and then everything in between. I want to point out that it is digital proportional. People will want to know, can you just creep along? And yes, you certainly can. All different levels of the push on the stick go different speeds. And I'll demonstrate the remote in just a moment. But I wanted to point out that it is very, very sensitive. If you want it to be, you can just creep around, or turn full speed, or turn really full speed. But I'll get to that in a minute. So basically what you have here, the frame there that looks like it weighs a ton, doesn't quite weigh a ton because it's all aluminum, and then the deck down there is steel. As I mentioned, there are 4 drive motors. There's a motor in each wheel that moves it right along, and it's extremely strong. You'll see on some other videos, you'll see people actually riding this thing, and well, I'm not gonna ride it because it says right there, don't ride it. But I will be pulling some things, and it definitely pulls itself very well, as you'll see. Now it has got these proximity sensors all over it. Right there, there, and that basically means you get it near anything, it shuts off. Unless you turn that off, and I definitely turn that off, and I'll show you where to do that on the remote in just a second. These are your emergency stops. If for some reason everything is going wrong, hit one of these big plungers and it'll stop. And that's only if the big plunger on the remote didn't work, which is right there, that silver thing, the big button there. Other than that, I've got to say it is a 1-handle height adjustment, and it's between 1.5 and 4.6 inches on the 2-wheel drive, but the 4-wheel drive I think only goes up to 4.3, and that has to do with the lesser aggressive tires. Since it's 4-wheel drive and it skid steers, they had to put a turf saver tire on there, otherwise it'd be tearing up the grass. So I think that's what makes this one just a little bit lower. Other than that, I guess we can move on to the remote. So So let me do a close-up. So what you got here is your basic remote control remote that everybody remembers from childhood. Stick on the left, forward and back. Stick on the right, left and right. Where is it? Where am I? There we go. See there? That's never gonna work. Anyway, I'll explain. So left and right on the left, forward and back. So these buttons up here, that is in autopilot. You press that and you go straight until you want to turn, and any input from the stick is going to shut that off so that you can regain control. This is a U-turn, 180 right. This is a negative U-turn, negative 180 left, if you wanted to press that. And so basically this drives very, very straight, and then turns around and drives very straight the other direction, one row over. Down here you've got your 3 different speeds. There is a left, middle, and right, and these are the ground speed ratios. As I mentioned, if you are on low speed, like the turtle, like it is now, you can see that it goes about that fast. But if you were to switch that to rabbit, then look out. I'm gonna hit stuff. And it goes much faster forward than it does in reverse. And then that will also increase the rate at which it turns. Now on the left there, what you have there is the manual and the smart control. Smart is the thing that's turning on all the safeties. And so if you don't want it sensing something constantly, turn it to manual. And then below that are the 3 different blade speeds. You pick which one's best. Obviously, thicker grass, higher speed. Now to turn it on, to turn the blades on, you've got these 2 buttons on the top. You have to press both buttons at the same time with your index fingers, and then a green mow button will show up on the touch panel here, and then you press that, and then you are able to take one finger off and continue to mow. But otherwise it won't leave the blades on if you take your hands off this button, because that means you passed out or something and it's not safe. And that is about it. As I said, this is an emergency shutoff. The big button and the power button turns it on or turns it off. It does 2 things. And so that is the basic explanation of what it is. And now we have to do a whole review. Now we got to start with an unboxing, and I get through it as fast as I can, but you know, anybody wants to see how it comes or what little assembly is involved, go ahead and watch that. But you can fast forward through that if you want to move right back to actually seeing it do things. So we'll see you at the unboxing. Okay, as you can see, there's no question we got a big dent, but I think we're going to be okay. I just wanted to show the overall size of this box. It is a 146 pound box, and the unit itself, the 4-wheel drive, is 135 pounds. Really curious to see if what is on the other side of this big dent. Well, there's a little more dent. Let's get the other flap open. Oh wow, there's a tire right there. Looks okay. I mean, I guess it would just kind of bounce off the tire. Based on what I've been seeing in the reviews, I think it can take being dropped. Anyway, so this is the way it comes, packed nice. Clearly the bagger on top. And I think that the first thing I need to do is take everything out of the box so that we can see what we got. So. All right, and here you go. This is everything that was in that box, and man, there's some good stuff in here. And the unit itself is absolutely monstrous. It doesn't even have its tires on yet, and it's bigger than the other 21. Just a giant. And I know, it looked crazy watching me wrestle it out of the box. And what you can do with these boxes is you just cut the corners and then let the side panels fall down, and then you can just roll it out or drag it out. But I wanted to save the box for my cat. But what we have here, let me try to go around to the front. Already, it's neat. We got a kind of a swiveling front axle here, which is obviously how it stays stable. And you have these ribs on the hubs, and on the back of the tire, I don't think I even need to read the directions, but as you can see, there's ribs inside the tire. So it's not rocket science. You slip the tire over the ribs, and then there are holes there. And I saw a bag of screws, and you probably just screw it on. Let's find that bag of screws. There it is right there. Bag of screws. They look like stainless steel. Awesome. And then we've got a big wrench. It's nice that it came. Look at that. It even says MOWRATOR on it. And you got some Allen wrenches. All came with it. And these are safety glasses in here. And the instructions. This must be the charger. Rear flap. And the actual control unit. I'll put that somewhere else for now, and we will look at that later. Then of course the big framework for the bagger. You have to slip the cloth for the bagger over the frame, and then you have a bag that you can hold. So not much to it. You basically just put the tires on. Okay, there we are with the tires on. It was exactly like I thought. The longer screws, there's some left there. The longer screws just screw the outer plate to the inner plate, and the tire stays on because of those ribs and the plate. And so the other screws, I was just reading in the instructions. The rare time that I will look at the instructions is when I was stumped. But the little screws, it looks like they are for attaching this to the back, these 4 holes here. You can see those holes. So we will be attaching the back flap now, and then trying to figure out what the extra screw is for. Okay, so now at this point I have the screws screwed into that rear flap there. So now it holds on when you open and close it. And so there we go. So you can now open that to attach the bagger attachment, or close it and put the mulch plug in there, or leave it wide open like this for rear discharge. There it is, assembled. That is the basic unboxing and basic assembly. And I never did find out what those other screws are for. I don't see it on the instructions anywhere. The wrench is probably for removing the blade if you want to take that off to sharpen it. And that's it. Moving on. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to test it up against these other lawn mowers. These are electric mowers and gas mower over there. What we have here is a 40 volt 17 inch. Here we have an 80 volt 21 inch. And this is a 159 cc, it's about 6 horsepower gas lawn mower, and the MOWRATOR. Now we're not necessarily setting out to see if we can beat these. We're basically just trying to show if we can keep up with these. What we have is a test area here of nice thick St. Augustine, and we're just going to run them all through at just a regular speed and see how they do, and see if MOWRATOR does the same thing. Okay, so all of that was in real time. I did stop short here because I was going to hit the leg of the tripod. But so that you can see which mower did which, I'm going to go straight back from here and show the cuts, I think. There we go. So here we are. Of course, the strongest thing here is very likely the 80 volt, which was the second one, the red one. But they all cut nice and clean. Honestly, because I am pushing the other ones, and the other one, I was pushing these two. These are push mowers. This one was self-propelled, but I think that the three of these were going about the same speed. And I had the MOWRATOR in high gear, or rabbit gear. So it was going the fastest it can go. And the fact that it missed a little bit is my fault, for sure, because I have just started mowing with this, and I missed. But the cut itself is just fine. That was cutting the same stuff that they were cutting over there very, very fast. So obviously, I mean, I know obviously this isn't enough of a challenge for it. We're just showing the basics here. Trust me, anybody that's subscribed to me, we will be challenging it. Okay, so here we are at one of my customers' yards, and he is driving it around already. We are about, what, 30 seconds into it?
Around 30 seconds, yeah.
And he figured out all the controls right off the bat. He figured out the little icons, and he knows what he's doing without ever having used it before. And what was it that you just said? You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Nobody said they don't like it yet. And here's just an example of how well somebody can drive it without ever having driven it before. Now, if it's going too fast, you can change the ground speed a little bit. Or do you want to go that fast?
Like to in here? So,
Yeah, and that'll be going pretty slow.
Is that like a medium?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got it.
And here's another point to consider. He's injured.
I know.
He's very injured, and he is still able to use this.
Yeah.
Let me get in, zoom in a little bit so that I can see what's happening. So let me ask you, have you ever used radio-controlled trucks or cars?
Back when I was a kid.
Back when you was a kid, and that's everybody's answer. So I think a lot of people have a history of the basic remote setup.
Yeah.
So as you can see that, look at that. So he's just following the edge there with no trouble after driving it for 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Well, my screen says 2 minutes, so I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you, you're doing better than I did my first try.
I get it. It's like a toy.
Exactly. It's meant to be both.
This makes yard mowing interesting and fun.
Exactly.
It beats mine.
It beats your lawnmower, the one you have to walk after?
Yeah.
So like I was mentioning, this is my customer, and he hired me because sometimes it gets to be quite a chore to mow the grass. I gotta ask you the important question. If you had one of these, would you fire your lawn service?
Well, it depends.
That wasn't an immediate no. There's a sprinkler head there.
Yeah.
leaves. This is good. What we can do here is we can demonstrate both the bagger attachment and mulching leaves, big leaves. These are avocado tree leaves. Okay, so you can see it bagged them all up. There's none actually left there. It was leaving a little bit in between the rows, but I think that I needed to overlap a little bit because of, you know, how dense the leaves were. And so let's go over here and take a look at if it mulched them up. It didn't mulch them up very much, just a little bit. That will make them fit in the bag a little better. But at this point, we're gonna close that completely, put the fake mulch plug back in, and we're gonna come over here and mulch that area over there completely to the point where you don't have to bag or anything, and see if how finely it mulches it all up. Okay, so I purposely only went over that once so people won't be able to say, well, it mulched it all up because you went over it 20 times or whatever. And you certainly have the option to go over it again, but considering how big these leaves are, it didn't do bad at all. And then we have a challenging lighting situation here. Here is where we'll be able to see the pieces. This is on one pass. You are allowed to go over it again. Not bad at all, really, considering how big the leaves were when they started. Anyway, so yeah, it does, I'd say it does really good with the mulching. So at this point, we're going to go way down there into the drainage swale and do some slope tests. Okay, so here we go. It is torture test day. You guys that follow my channel, I bet you were hoping that I would bring it out to this area. This is the place where I torture test everything from regular mowers to brush mowers. This is supposedly a regular mower, but we're gonna put it through the thick stuff here because according to the videos that I see, it can do it. So we have the rear chute wide open and we have pulled out the makeshift mulching plug. By the way, this little piece of packing material, look for it in the box and keep it as a spare mulch plug because it's perfect. It's working fantastically. And in fact, we will actually demonstrate some mulching. If it's doing well with the open discharge, we will put the mulch plug in and see if it will mulch the thick stuff too. So is it going to be able to do all this? We've got a wide range of heights. We've got about 6 inches in front of it, no, maybe 5 inches, and then we got about a foot over here. And if it passes all those tests, we'll go into the thick stuff. My first guess is that it does have the power to mow it, but does it have the traction to push it over and get into it to mow it? Or is it going to ride up on it? I don't know. Let's find out. So for information's sake, I have lowered the deck because this is not St. Augustine grass. This is kind of bahia. This is more officially, it's called lake grass around here. But it is definitely the type that you cut down low. So I have lowered it to setting 3, just in case anybody's wondering. So I gotta say, for what it's doing, it's nice and quiet, really. And yeah, I'm filming while controlling it. It's really a trip. Through some, I'll try some of the never mowed stuff now, coming into it now. Can you even believe this? Okay, I gotta be honest, I did not expect it to mow that. Look at this. So I'll go back along the path that it just mowed. And it is right through the stuff that I never mowed. This stuff hasn't been mowed in a year or more. Last time the bush hog came through here. And it is just making itself a path, isn't it? Incredible. I do think it's going to mow the really, really tall stuff. Look at that, it's way out there. Okay, let's do that. Let's take it into the thick. All right, so I will set up the camera to film this area right here because it has a gradual increase, as you can see there. We're starting off over here at about 1.5 feet. Well, this is just brush over here. And then about 1.5 feet lake grass. 2 feet, 2.5 feet, and then 3 feet. And then there's a little break for it right there. You know, I don't want to push it too hard because I don't want to break this thing, but we have to try that. So let's see what happens. Okay, so that is just outrageous for not only electric but radio controlled, because I mean, you don't want to go into this stuff, right? You don't want to walk through it is what I mean. So why not just let the mower go into it for you? And look at that. Now it's not mowed clean, but come on guys, give it a break. Look what it did. And you have the option to relax in a chair as you turn around and go through it again. You got plenty of battery, take your time. It will mow stuff like that. Oh my. Okay, so I hope that is impressive enough, because good grief, oh my. You know what I'm going to do right now? Because there's going to be all kind of skeptical people saying all kind of things, so I'm going to go over there and show myself compared to this. That's outrageous. Okay, so my phone overheated, so I have to use this lower technology here. And what we're going to do at this point is we're going to put this high-tech mulch plug back in. And we're going to try some mulching. I don't think it's going to do very well, because it's clearly cutting off when it senses a decrease in blade speed, like a blade is blocked or something like that. And that's exactly what mulching is going to do. But for the record, we'll run a few strips here and there and see what happens. Okay, so this is where I'm going to test the range. Over there, if you look way out to that fence down there, that is easily 200 yards. And we're not going that far because honestly, the only point we're trying to make is that it will go far enough. Because if you have it all the way that far out, you can't see what you're doing. So you just want to go, I will go kind of to that little clearing right there, I think. And that's 100 yards probably. And then I'm going to come back just to show that it can do it. Speed 3. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to zoom in so that we can even see what we're doing here. You can see that it is way out there, just a little over about 100 yards away. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to where is it? I am going to pull the trigger. Oh, we're zoomed in, so it's not okay. So I'm going to move it from here. You can see there. Still have total control. We'll spin it around, and we'll start our journey back. Okay, everybody wake up. It's here. So it just occurred to me, as we were doing that test without the blades engaged, we were just basically testing the range, so we probably might want to test traction and what it can do. So we're just going to not turn on the blades, and we're just going to plow into that stuff over there and see what happens. Oh, it goes right through it. Wow. Okay, so look at this. It absolutely just flies right through it. Oh my. Didn't expect that. Let's spin it around. Get grass all tangled all over the, probably what's happening. Oh yeah, we're gonna get it stuck in there. Nope, it's coming out. So it has more power going forward than it does in reverse. Some of you guys may have realized that by now. Really got it stuck in there. It's gonna do it. It's gonna free itself. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to pull grass out of it. Okay, it's coming out now. And it's free. Almost free. I said that too early. Here it comes. Alright. Now what did we do to it? We got grass all tangled all over it. A little bit. We're going to have to pull some grass out. But again, you're not supposed to be doing that. This is just a torture test. And speaking of which, I think we're done with the torture test. And it still works. We didn't break anything. I know it's beeping. We got a reset button. Listen. There. Back to normal. Okay, so it's got traction. No problem. I don't even know what's next, but it will be next. Okay, so this is going to be the final test for it today to wrap up this long video. We're going to be doing the incline test. We've got a fairly steep incline here and here on these this drainage tube here. I don't know what the angle is. You decide from yourself. I'm going to make sure, look at the trees in the background. I'm going to try to get the camera as level as I possibly can so that it's not cheating. I think that what we're going to start with is we're going to try to just drive up the concrete there, and then we are going to try to mow the grass next to it while going uphill. And then we have the side of the septic mound back there to try as well. It's pretty steep. So let's do that. Okay, so that's basically it. I will try to, we're in Florida here, so as much as we have our uniqueness, we don't have a whole lot of hills. So here's like, this is the area where I was mowing up and down the septic tank. I had the camera down there. We were going up and down that way, so you can see what we're doing. Now things like the battery, you don't really have to worry about the battery. Even the worst of these tests in this video, like the torture test, only took like 25% of the battery. So it's not something that you have to worry about going dead for, I mean, long time. And here is the basic angle on this. Now one thing I did not try was the sideways test. What are the chances we're gonna flip it? Well, now it's getting all hung up on there. Yeah, let's scrape up the new mower. Anyway, I'll take it back to the truck. And this is gonna have to wrap up this video. There's going to be a lot more videos with this thing as we come up with more and more things to do with it. So look down in the description and the top pinned comment for links on where to get it maybe, and so on. But definitely look forward to more videos and let me know what you want to see it doing. And I will make that video or just include it in the next video. And that will be that. You can see, yeah, I definitely do take it out on the trailer here. And it's got its nice little parking spot. So, appreciate y'all watching. Look in the description for the links. And thanks for hanging out with me for a long video. There will be more on more specific topics, but we had to get the fundamentals all taken care of. So, we'll see you around. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.